Hello friends and family, welcome to Root to Fly, your home for spiritual insight, mindful wellness, inspiration, where my intention is to support you in aligning with your dream life. Today we're getting into a juicy reading. What is the gossip on you? This is not to be messy. This is not to stew in negativity or to even get into the psyche of your haters. This is to help you take the energy that is being sent towards you, to harness that energy and transmute it into living out your dream life every single day. I have 4 piles for you. I have the Selenite crystal. I have the Sodalite crystal. I have the Labradorite crystal. And I have the Smoky Quartz crystal. Take your time, choose the pile that resonates most with you. Maybe take a deep breath in, let it go, grounding down, and just see what calls to you, what pulls your energy, what pulls your eyes. There are timestamps down below where these options are displayed. And there's also information below if you'd like to book a personal reading with me. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below once you receive your reading to let me know how it went. See you there. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous pile number ones. If you chose the Selenite crystal, this is your reading for what the juicy gossip is on you at present. Once again, we're not here to be messy. We're not here to delve into negativity. We're here to transmute all of the energy that's being sent to you so that you can harness it for your highest good to wake up to your dream life every single day. So let's get right into it. I've already prepared my cards. We have Unity, the Hierophant. And if you hear stuff in the background, that is just my partner. He is working on the house and the yard today, talking to family and friends, so don't be disturbed. We have the Empress. Wow, this is already off to a great start. And we have the Chariot. Interesting. Bottom of the deck, we have the Magician. I'm going to get an Oracle card. Okay. So we have the Butterfly Oracle deck here, Doreen Virtue. These are just some of my OG cards. If you have any like decks that you prefer, just drop them in the comments down below. I want to kind of update my repertoire. So we have Join In. Okay, and the bottom of this deck is Relationship Dynamics. Okay. So first things first, I see a lot of golden and orange colors. If you know me, you know I love to read colors. And that talks to me about the third chakra. The third chakra is all about inspiration. It's all about action. It's all about being motivated. It's all about just kind of going after your passions. It's not the fiery, deep passions, but it's like the things that you do on an everyday basis and actually like being in your routines and being in your purpose. With Join In, that's also highlighted, that concept of you like really being in the mix lately. And then Relationship Dynamics, Chariot, Unity, the Empress, she has her little baby here. Unity is the Hierophant card. A lot of times that talks about marriage. The Chariot talks about like going after like partnership. It's the card that's ruled by Cancer. So I see you actually manifesting. And I know this is supposed to be the juicy gossip, but you guys are manifesting something and people are talking about it. You guys are manifesting a healthy relationship. you are manifesting, you're either in that relationship or you are looking like the dream partner. You are that girl. You are the girl that all the girlies want to be and all the guys want to date, okay? And, you know, obviously take that and make it about you if you're not a girly, but you are, and I say manifesting because we have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. We have all major arcana cards. So this is a very inward energy. It's very spiritual, but it's very potent, especially when the colors that come out are action cards and not spiritual cards. So you are bringing your spiritual goals and energy, and you're grounding it in a very real way. People can see you embodying your best self at this time. You're really being admired. The Empress, like, it's the central focus of this entire reading. And that makes me feel like you are kind of the center of attention at this time. I was drawn to this heart lock. And so there's something about you that's very self-contained. You're able to give a lot of energy. The Hierophant, the Chariot, that's a very giving energy. Join in. You're sharing yourself, but somehow you're still keeping a lot of your energy within. And I think this speaks about you. Like, people see you pouring into yourself. People see you spoiling yourself more. And instead of them seeing it as you being selfish, they're like, wow, how does she do it all? How does she take care of herself and then still have energy to share with me? People are really appreciating. And I don't even think that you're like giving more than you used to give. You might just be in the exact same like level of giving that you always were. The difference is that you started pouring into yourself, so the way people are perceiving you is that your energy is more valuable than it was in the past. And it's not any more valuable, but somehow, you know, when we value ourselves really strongly, people pick up on that and then they start to place more value upon us as well. So I feel like that's what's happening with you. Interesting. I have this Goddess Oracle deck. This is a newer deck here, so let's see. What is the gossip on my Selenite crystal pile? What is the current gossip on my Selenite crystal pile? Okay, this is like past energy. In the past, I feel like you were overburdened, overworked. I have Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. You were overworked, overburdened constantly. Everyone saw how attractive you were. Like, for the Ace of Wands, to clarify the Empress, it's like you've always been hot. It's just a matter of like, for some reason, that energy of who you were wasn't potent enough. It's like the energy, people are starting to see who you truly are. There's this duality to you. In the past, people viewed it as a little bit more like they weren't sure about you. It was untrustworthy. They maybe saw it as flaky. And now they see it as a skill and a talent and like a really valuable quality, this dual nature, this ability to weave in and out of social dynamics, and the way that your dexterity, like your ability to juggle multiple things, be that in the way that you show up, be that projects. And they used to see it as more flaky, and now they see it as like skillful. And then your sexuality, they used to just see it as like raw, like sexual passion, like, and now they see it as luxurious and like timeless, like old Hollywood kind of energy. Whereas before they just saw, oh, she just oozes sexuality, and it was more so like tinged with like jealousy maybe for some people, but it's not even jealousy. It's just like not valuable. Oh, just like another hot girl. It's just like, that girl that I grew up with that was hot, but it wasn't, there wasn't anything like special about it. Now they see you as like a symbol of beauty, and like sexuality is in there, like you're still sexy, but like there's so much more to you. It's like this full, like voluptuous, like woman that's both like ideal partner, ideal mother, like just ultimate divine feminine energy. And then with the Hierophant, the Ten of Wands, they used to just see you as like overextended, like always like overstressed, like overworked. But now that hard work that you used to do has been transmuted into wisdom. And so they feel like everything that you've been through, like all the burdens that you used to go through, are now actually like you have wisdom to share based on what you've been through or the challenges that you've faced. So it's like people are seeing you clearly now, whereas in the past they had a very watered down, one-dimensional, like less optimistic or less like honored view of who you are. Yeah, so people think you've changed, but what I see is that you've just, it's a natural evolution of you just becoming more of who you are, and that only happens through spiritual work, like really reflecting, really leaning into who you are. And so that's the part that they don't see. But it's almost like people don't even remember the old you. Like people don't even remember like how they used to see you. It's as if this is who you've always been. And it may be that you're in new environments now, so you don't associate with the same people as you did before. Or it could just be that, it's like people have amnesia all of a sudden because now all of a sudden you have like something that they want, But anyways, I'm trying not to be negative with these because I feel like these can very easily go negative. And I feel like we have a lot of agency over what energy we're tuning into. And there's always like different vibrational levels. And I want to stay in the higher vibrational levels because this is about alignment. It's not about like, if you just, gossiping and jealousy readings and all that, those can be fun, but if you really want to like improve your energy, like you got to stay in the high vibes, and you have to transmute the lower vibes for lack of better words. All right, so now we're gonna get an oracle message about the gossip, cow nourishment. Oh, I don't have my little book. 1 second. Be right back. I'm back. So let's read the message about the cow and what this means. And already like the cow nourishment like aligns a lot with the Chariot for me, because that's like Cancer energy, that's like motherly energy, and we were talking about that. So there's obvious maturation that's happened in your process. So maybe some people are seeing, people who are closer to you, who actually know the real you a lot better, they do recognize this maturation process. And there's no shame in having come from, like, in progressing, you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is like, I feel like you're not even in your final form. Like, you still have like so much, like you haven't even peaked yet, you know? And people are like seeing like, oh wow, she really figured it out. But I don't think that you ever were confused. I think that it's just been a natural process and we all have to start somewhere. So I'm also seeing the number 3 for the cow and the number 3 for the Empress. Threes to me speak about collaboration. So that's that join in energy. So maybe you're like stepping out more, you're kind of joining different groups and organizations, or you have a new career, or you're like sharing yourself more. All right, let's read the cow message. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. All right, cow nourishment, earth energy. You already know what you need in order to grow. I could have a lot of Tauruses in this pile, Taurus, sun, moon, rising, just by the way. A symbol of complete nourishment, the cow is a beautiful talisman of nurture, motherhood, and wisdom. A sacred species amongst the Hindu culture, the cow is worshipped for being a sustainer of life in so many ways. The cow is another gentle herbivore that is a true warrior of the landscape. She draws on her innate abilities to create and nurture other life, as well as continually doing the same of her own. With their anatomy consisting of 4 stomach chambers, their systems are adapted to be able to draw the most nutrients from their food as it enters through their system. A cow's digested food undergoes many more processes than a human system, thus being a great example to us that it is often not important what we choose to nourish ourselves, but more about how we break it down and process it for our own growth and development. We can draw parallels to this with the things we choose to feed us, both the positive and the negative. They teach us that even though life can be filled with challenges, it is what we choose to draw from it that accounts for how we choose to shape ourselves throughout life. We heavily rely on this creature for our own modern lifestyles, yet when we shift our attention from what they can offer us in body and see that they are much more than milk, skin, and meat, we discover that they are actually teachers of making the most of what we have as a true Earth Mother teacher and how to nurture our creative selves. Cows have such a special bond with their offspring who are nurtured through their beautiful milk for up to a year. They show us that it is so important to nurture our creations, to raise them in love, protection, and selflessness, and that this in turn nourishes our own soul. Cows, although a common symbol for physical nourishment globally, can also show us that to discover the key to whole nutrition, we must focus on strengthening our bond with our creative, physical, and spiritual selves, and that the best way to do this is to follow our own natural instincts and earthly wisdom. Yes, exactly. Like, what was it here that really spoke to me? Yeah, so she draws on her innate abilities to create and nurture other life, as well as continually doing the same for her own. That's what I was picking up at the beginning. Exactly what I was saying there. A special message that came through specifically through this card. We can draw parallels to this with the things we choose to feed us, both the positive and negative. They teach us that even though life can be filled with challenges, it is what we choose to draw from it that accounts for how we choose to shape ourselves throughout life. So people see that you've taken what you've been through, you've taken what's been given to you, and you have created unity with it. You have integrated your lessons from the challenges, and it's made you more beautiful. You haven't been beaten down by the challenges. You've become stronger. And cows are such a strong yet gentle creature. And so the beauty that people see in you, I think in the past, they always saw that you were superficially beautiful, but they didn't know like how deep that beauty runs. And people now see that your beauty is timeless. Your beauty, it's from the inside out. And no matter, what you look like as you move through life, like physically, like that beauty is within you, that shines from your soul, and that can't age, that can't be taken away. It only gets more beautiful with time. So people see you becoming even more beautiful with time, and that's what makes you so much more valuable as a person to connect with in their eyes. We all have inherent, innate, like unconditional value spiritually, but people see you more valuable on the material plane because of the fact that the kind of value you add, it's intangible. So like it said, like we rely on this creature, but when we shift our attention for what they can offer us and from what they can offer us in body and see that they're much more, we discover that they're actually teachers and making the most of what we have. And that's what you've done here. It's like you don't abandon yourself by leaning into, so people may have seen this quality of you being passionate about things and exploring your different passions. They may have seen that as flaky in the past because you would pick something up, put it down, and like juggle all these different like interests. And they felt like, oh, she's not consistent. But now they see you like, they see you bringing all of the talents and interests that you've had, bringing it all together. And you didn't abandon your creative nature. You didn't abandon any of your passions. And now that's an admirable quality, because instead of being a master of one trade, you're a jack of all trades. And it's this beautiful mosaic of an artwork that is you. You are the work of art. Another thing, in the past, maybe you were a lot more, people saw you as like, you talked too much, you like oversharing. And now I think you've started to internalize like your abilities, like your word, your power of your word. And your word is now between you and yourself. So you've been directing that passion within yourself instead of to the outside, and now it's like overflowing, spilling out. All right, okay, I'm gonna get one more oracle message. What is the gossip on my pile? Number 1, Selenite wand. It says aspire. Find photos of the place where you would like to work or sketches. Stick these images on a special board and look at them every day. Draw the business card that you hope to have one day and pin that on the board too. Know that it will soon be yours. Bottom of the deck, justice. Whenever you face a challenge, ask the universe to give you the best outcome for all concerned. This ensures that no one will profit at another's expense. Yes, they see you. People see you as just. You are what people are sticking on their vision board. People who've wronged you in the past, or people who saw you, like underestimated you in the past, they feel like, oh wow, like she's in her own lane. She's like she doesn't even worry or think about like what I did to her in the past, or like how I treated her in the past. And there's something just untouchable about that. and you are goals. And that's on period. And I know people don't really say that anymore, but like, that's just like, that's it. And I just want to glance at the bottom of this deck because I will feel incomplete if I don't. I never looked at this. Lady Beetle, luck, number 35, red, this red color. You don't get your passion, you don't get your luck, you don't get your energy from a place of ego. You get it, you always draw on your soul for guidance. And I'm not one, like, you don't need to kill your ego. We're alive, we're humans, we're always gonna have an ego. But instead of letting your ego drive the car, you have a healthy relationship with your ego and you heal what's been broken so that you can craft a healthy ego. You lean into change. You lean into transformation. You don't hold on to the past and stew in what was done to you or what didn't work out, and a lot of people, like, they let those things eat away at them and it dims their inner beauty. But you haven't done that. You've drawn on nature, you've drawn on healing work, you've drawn on, your journaling work, your meditations and your self-reflections, and you've allowed that to constantly renew your spirit. And that's what makes you magnetic, and that's what makes you beautiful, and that's what makes you valuable. You're inherently valuable, no matter what mistakes you make. But that's the beauty that people are really able to value and see within you at this time, and they're talking about it. Yes, so that's what I have for you. Pile number 1, Selenite Crystal. Thank you so much for joining me here. Please make sure to like, comment down below if this resonates with you, and share it with someone who you think might benefit. Also, if you'd like a personal reading from me, there's information about that in a link down below. Thank you once again for being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Sodalite crystal, this is your reading for what the gossip is on you. Once again, this is not to be messy. This is not to delve into negativity. This reading is to help you transmute all the energy that's being sent your way into energy that is used to align with your dream life. So let's get right into it. What is the gossip on our pile number 2 Sodalite crystal? What's the gossip on pile number 2 Sodalite crystal? We have Ace of Wands. What's the gossip on pile number 2, my Sodalite crystal? We have 6 of Wands. What's the gossip on my pile number 2 Sodalite crystal? We have the Emperor, bottom of the deck, 6 of Swords. Okay. All right, get an oracle card. What's the gossip on my pile number 2 Sodalite crystal? 2 cards wanted to come out. Spiritual growth with relationship dynamics. Relationship dynamics came out in pile number 1 as well. And then bottom of the deck, memories. You have a lot of people nostalgic over you, pile number 2. I'm already going to say that. Okay. People see you shining. There's a lot of material success in this pile. People are pocket watching. They think that you have a lot of resources, and they're regretting how they treated you in the past. And I don't feel like it's because they are authentic for most of them. this is forcing them to really, really, really self-reflect. But it starts from a place of greed. It starts from a place of wanting what you have or wanting what you have to offer them. If I have any male viewers, this is probably your pile. Because it's like, to me, it's speaking about a guy who, like masculine energy, who you were younger and you were in a relationship, or you know, had like friendships and relationships with people, and they saw you, you were like still working on yourself. But, you know, you were still working your way up, and you were always like super ambitious, and now like they see that it's been fruitful. It's become fruitful. And I said this in the last pile, please just ignore any sounds in the background. My partner is, you know, walking around working on the house and that kind of thing. So don't be alarmed. But yeah, I see that now they're like, wow, I should have just stuck with them. I should have just stuck with them. And they're lonely. It's just them and their memories. For some reason, they're not able to like find better. And it doesn't have to just be romantic. This can also be friends. It's like, wow, I should have appreciated that friend when they were around. Because, yeah, it's like either they don't want to move on because they're stuck on you, or they can't move on because they can't even find anyone, or they can't find better people. So they're like really lonely. The gossip is they're lonely without you, and this is forcing them to then refine these feelings into like something more reflective about like, wow, like about who they really are deep down, and what that says about them and what they need to like work on. Wow, interesting. Okay, please clarify the Ace of Wands. What's the gossip on my pile number 2? Sodalite crystal. What's the gossip on my Sodalite crystal pile? What's the gossip on my, we have Page of Cups. Please clarify the Emperor. What's the gossip on my Sodalite crystal people? Bottom of the deck, Magic, the Magician. All right. Yeah, they're stuck on you with this King of Pentacles in reverse. They're trying to move forward, but it's like moving through like quicksand, or moving through like a truck stuck in mud. They're moving, they're working hard, but they're not getting anywhere. For some people, they might see you as this stuck energy. Or they see you like you are trapped in this world of your own creation, which looks good on the outside, but it's just materialistic. And now like you're alone and you're lonely, and you're just stuck with your own growth, spiritual growth, and your own memories. And it's like this lonely at the top kind of feeling. But for some of them, they're like seeing you as this person who only ever put your ambitions, and you always like before everything else, and you put your head over your heart, and they think that it looks good on the outside, but that now like that you don't have any more, like that they feel like you have nowhere else to grow. And so you're just like stuck lonely with yourself on repeat. So for some of you, if you're opening up to people who you think are friends, this is about like your struggles, and you are in a like really like, what's the word? Sorry for my extremely refined language, but you are in a position of power or leadership or just like an admired position. And you have people around you that you're confiding in. I would recommend confiding in a professional, because I believe that the people that you're opening up to, they're taking what you're saying and they're using it like out of jealousy to make your life seem like it's not as, like, to try to cut you down in their own minds. And although that doesn't really directly do anything negatively to you, it does, the vibration of that, especially if you're sensitive like me, it's like you can feel it. You can feel it. And you may not know exactly where it's coming from, but any insecurities that you do have, because that's what we're sharing when we're sharing like our hardships. We're sharing the things that we're insecure about. And it's nice to feel like you have people around you who love you and care for you, who you can be vulnerable with. But that should be a really, really, really small number, because that needs to be tried and tested. That can't just be anyone and everybody that you have like good vibes with. Because not everybody loves you like your mother or your father or your partner, you know? And for some of us, the mother and the father are the ops, or the partner is the op. So, you know, you have to like choose very carefully who you're vulnerable with. And on the other hand, it's not fair to like put all your insecurities on your loved ones either. And it does, like, you teach people how to treat you, you tell people who you are. So if you're constantly just sharing and highlighting your insecurities, people start to see you in that light, because that's the light that you're seeing yourself in. So when it comes to working through challenges and insecurities, it's always most beneficial to do it with someone who, you know, is devoted to help pull you out of those insecurities and help you transmute them and help you like elevate past the things that you're stuck on internally. So people see you as like in the physical world, in the material world, you are something to be admired, but they think that on the inside you're not very happy, and that you have this like stuckness, and that you're too nostalgic, and that you like hold on to things too much. And yeah, I'm sorry if that's triggering, but they see you as successful and having a lot of qualities that they wish they had and that they admire. I don't see people like directly like hating on you or wishing you ill, but it's like this energy. It's like they're confirming your insecurities, because they want to highlight your insecurities, because they want to feel like on your level. Like they want to level the playing field, so they highlight the things that you're insecure about. So the past people I was getting, those were people in the past who really tried to cut you down and who were blocking you getting to this level of admirability that you're at right now, because they saw who you could be, and they were the real ops. So I feel like the people you have around you now, it's like this is warning you not to recreate that cycle by highlighting your own insecurities with them and being overly vulnerable, because that can kind of like recreate that cycle. Instead, if you like work with a professional and transmute those challenges, those inner obstacles, then you can keep shining, you can keep growing. And also your relationships are not tainted with that exchange of kind of your partner or your friends become your therapist, because that's not fair to them either. And also you can find like more like value and fun in your relationships, which I think will actually help you with the current feelings of loneliness or like not feeling inspired, like, or feeling stuck, this stuck feeling. Like if you lean on your friendships as not as like, not for guidance, not for support, not for confirmation, but if you lean on them for fun and inspiration and creativity, then that's actually going to be what like lights your life back up again. After a time of maybe feeling like leaning too much into your work. And everything has its place, everything has its time. You didn't do anything wrong. Like you had to be who you were then to be where you are now, which is obviously a very, like, you've reached a level of success. There's like nothing wrong, but it feels like something's wrong. It feels like something's off, and it feels like something's missing because there's this imbalance in your relationships. And it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So for some of you, you may feel like insecure in connections. You may feel like, oh, people only want me for what I have to offer, and like on like materially, and they don't love me for who I really am. But all you share about who you really are is like the worst parts of yourself. Like you're just like divulge like the things that you're the most insecure about. And so people meet you where you are, you know? And I feel like it's because a lot of you, it's rooted in past people who truly were ops, who truly did like hate you and wanted the worst for you. And like, so now you feel like, oh, everybody secretly just like hates me and, you know, is like out to get me, because there were people who actually genuinely were. But you don't have to bring that energy into your new connections. You actually need to heal from the past connections of people who were negative and hateful, because that's not everybody, and that's not the people that you have in your life right now. However, they will start to see you painted in this light of like having a dark cloud over you, and they won't find the same like joy in connecting, and they might like distance themselves if you don't work through the insecurities and challenges of the past. That may be what inspired you to really like lean into your work more and to get to this level where you are. So it all had to happen. So it's a really beautiful thing. Cool, let's get an animal oracle message. What's the gossip on the Sodalite crystal? We have woodpecker, opportunity in reverse. I kept saying op for some reason. And then this is opportunity. So like we turned it upside down. We transmuted that energy. Like you don't have to beware of haters. And then we have duck, knowing in reverse. All right, let's read the woodpecker message. Yeah, and like 3 speaks to me about like collaborations and friendships, or like the 3 of swords. It's like connections. And then 9 is like an ending. So like you're ending a cycle of how you used to relate, how people used to relate with you. You're growing through like your reflections on spiritual dynamics, reflecting on the past. And people in the past are reflecting on you, and they have to grow from like the people who really truly harmed you and did not have good intentions from you. Like they're forced to look at that and grow. And if that's you, if you're the one that needs to reflect, only you know that, and this is confirmation for you. But for most all of you, it's a matter of like, you don't need to carry their burden with you, and you did the work that you need. Like, he's strong. Look at his arms, and he's moving past rocky waters, and you already like transcended that burden in reality, but you still like keep replaying it, so it feels like you're stuck there. But this is manifesting, like overcoming that energy. So let's see what the woodpecker has to say. Woodpecker, fire. The more open you are to receiving, the more chances you have at succeeding. The woodpecker is a unique bird that nests in tree cavities and has a distinct beak used as a tool for removing tree bark and uncovering burrowing insects. A less commonly known trait of the woodpecker is their extra long and sticky tongue, which is used for reaching into tricky places and for long distance hunting. They can also eat a wide variety of other insects, birds, eggs, and lizards, which helps them to optimize their survival and breeding capabilities. Woodpeckers use their strong, quick-moving beaks to make drumming sounds by tapping them against trees to communicate with other birds for breeding and signaling purposes. Once they pair up, the couple will work together to excavate a nest cavity inside a tree trunk for the female to lay her eggs. Another intriguing behavior they have is their choice to live in groups of other bird species, which further protects them from predators. We can use this as a reminder that in order to find greater success in life, we must put ourselves out there to other groups or circles in order to increase our chances of being supported and having more success come our way in life. The woodpecker invites you to knock on the door of opportunity and see where it leads, and to focus less on the particular outcome. Instead, be open to many different versions of this picture that provides you with the feeling you seek. The woodpecker reminds you to never give up and to always keep your options open and fluid. Yes, so if you are putting yourself in a box, not connecting with others, it makes you feel locked away in this tower, kind of stuck. You know, you have this beauty, you have so much to give, but all you can do is just work because that's the only thing that feels like safe. It's actually saying that the more you open up and connect with others and broaden your network circles and create and experiment with your like social life or your creative pursuits, and like get out of like your own box. Then yeah, like you might be, for a lot of you, I feel like you are trying to decide you want to connect more with others, or you have a specific person that you want to connect with, but you are holding yourself back. And that's why everything came out in the reverse. The woodpecker came out in reverse. The duck knowing came out in reverse. And you know who this is. And you know that they're probably safe, but you're avoiding engaging with them. This is your confirmation to lean in and let go of the memory of being hurt in the past. Because I see the people around you, they only have good things to say about you, but it's being soured by, like, they see you for who you really are. They don't think you're cold. They don't think you're distant. They think you're hurt. And they think you're stuck in that hurt. They see it for what it is. but don't sour it by staying stuck. And the more that you like work on this with a professional, someone who can actually, because even if the people around you want to help you, they don't have this proper skills, and it's not a fair dynamic for them to be your healer. So when you reach out for that actual healing, that's going to be the thing that allows for love to happen, allow for, because you've already manifested what you're content with at this moment when it comes to career ambitions. But there are creative ambitions, there are relationship ambitions that you have, there are spiritual ambitions that you have. And in order to like achieve those, you have to build new muscles. You have to do things in a different way than you've ever done them before. So this is going to take building new skills. All right, final messages here for my Sodalite crystals. What is the gossip on the Sodalite crystal pile? Reconcile. If you wish to apologize to someone but can't get in touch with them, mentally send them your heartfelt apologies and know that they have heard you and forgiven you. So if for some of you, if you are the one that like hurt someone else in the past and you're holding on to that and you think that that shapes who you are and you're like stuck in that, it's time to forgive yourself on a spiritual level and to forgive others who have hurt you. They may be sending you that energy so that you can have closure and they don't feel like they can actually reach out. And it's not for you to do the reaching out. If somebody else hurt you, that's for them to do, but it's probably best to not connect most times if they were really malicious. But just know that they do feel sorry and you can forgive and you can move forward. Because there was something I saw about like this journey, this long journey, and life is a journey and people go through ups and downs, and we've all experienced like being the worst of ourselves and being the best of ourselves. Some people's worst is way worse than other people's worst, and some people's best is better than other people's best. But like we can all relate and resonate with each other on that level of having done some things to other people that didn't, like we didn't have the best intentions, or what, we weren't showing up in our best life, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And so you can just like forgive people because you are only human yourself, and that absolves you of the burden of holding on to the things that they did to you because you persevered. And this is also confirmation that, you know, being successful monetarily, being successful, you know, in your ambitions is not the only marker of fulfillment. Like that's not the only thing that's going to make you happy. Not to say that it's not important, but it's not the only thing that's going to make you happy. And you're reaching the point. There's a very it's a privilege to reach that point, to see that like money isn't everything, because so many people are struggling with, you know, the concept of money and resources, that they think money will solve all their problems. But it is a blessing to get to the place to realize that, oh, I have all the money I want, but it's not solving my problems. And to be able to then like transcend even deeper like lessons. Finally, we have positivity. Always do your best to direct your thoughts in positive and productive directions. Focus on life-affirming and joyful thoughts. Train yourself to avoid negative, pessimistic, self-defeating, and critical thoughts and emotions, because these will block the flow of abundance. Yes. I'm going to close the reading there. Option number 2, Sodalite Crystal. Thank you so much again for joining me. The description box down below will give you more information if you'd like to book a personal reading. Please like, comment, let me know how it resonated, and share this with anyone you think it might help. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the Labradorite crystal, this is your reading about what the juicy gossip is on you. This is not to be messy. This is not to get into negativity. This is to harness the energy that's being sent your way to align you with your dream life. So let's get right into it. What is the gossip on my pile number 3s today? What's the gossip, one card at a time? What's the gossip on my pile number 3s today? What's the gossip on my pile number 3s today? One card at a time. What's the gossip on my pile number 3s today? Okay, fine. A lot of people are talking about you. We have Ace of Wands and the Empress. What's the gossip on my pile number 3s today? The Dreamer. What's the gossip on my pile number 3s today? Oh, I love this. 2 of Wands. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Cups. Wow. People are saying that you have such a free life, and it just feels like everything you want, you get it. Some people might be saying you have pretty privilege in this pile, and that you don't really have a care in the world. You have everything you need. Some people are seeing this as like being good at manifestation, but a lot of people are just seeing this as plain like privilege. So people are saying that you're privileged. You have like people around you that support you, and you always have had. And now this is translating into your love life. Some people who, you know, are seeing this with eyes of jealousy feel like you may think that you're better than other people, or they feel like you don't, like you, I'm hearing like, have forgotten where you've come from for some of you, because with the Fool here, the Fool's kind of wearing rags and she's moving towards this castle. And then we have like, you know, the 2 of Cups energy. We have this like energy of the 9 of Wands, 9 of Cups, which is all about like your wish come true, and like you're putting yourself first, and the universe is also putting you first. And she looks like she's being like served and adorned by like a helper. And so some people might feel like this level of luxury and like regality that you have, like you haven't always been there and had that life and that lifestyle, but that your pretty privilege garnered it for you on your behalf. So maybe like people feel like you like married up, and so now you have like all the luxuries of life, but you didn't always, and then now you think you're too good for them. For a lot of you, let's get some oracle cards. What is the gossip on my Labradorite crystals? What is the gossip on my Labradorite crystals? Healing from the past. And bottom of the deck, volunteer. So anyways, not everybody is going to paint it in a negative light. And so the people who do see things in a positive light and who aren't projecting their own like jealousy and insecurities, they are feeling like wherever you did come from, you have like reached your destination of like everything you could have hoped for. And maybe you had a trying past, and you didn't come from the best circumstances, but it's like a Cinderella complex or Cinderella archetype where you deserve, because of your humility and your grace and your good heart, like you deserve the life that you've entered into, and you deserve to be treated like a queen. And so they feel like, because someone with a heart of gold like yours, when they are given everything, they're naturally going to like be good leaders and good, like, what's that word? Oh gosh. Stewards of the wealth and the legacy that's bestowed upon them. And that's what I get with this volunteer energy. So the grace and the humility that you have in your heart, people see that like you are, no matter where you come from or where you go, like you're always going to be gracious and caring. And so a lot of people believe that, are talking about how you deserve like the level up in life that you're experiencing right now. And they always have and always will wish you the best. And a lot of people are gossiping about, because like I have lavender everywhere, and it's little fuzzy like purple stuff, and I see this fuzzy purple butterfly. And so a lot of people are gossiping about how you are such a tranquil energy, and how you being around you eases them, and how they want more of your energy. But you're always like looking away in all of these pictures that are meant to depict you. You're always like looking away, and your eyes are either closed or you're looking elsewhere in the distance. And like people are sad that you've moved away from them because of the like peace and tranquility and ease and like love that you brought into their life, and they really miss your energy. All right. Ooh, that came right out. Justice reversed. What's the gossip on my pile number 3? So yeah, there are two camps here. Two different people talking about you. One side, they don't really know you very well at all, and they're jealous, and yeah, they're just talking out of their ASS. And then the other pile, the other people, they really love you, and they like know that you have a heart of gold, and they just wish that they had access to it because they feel like they don't have access to it anymore. Okay, bottom of the deck, King of Pentacles, and we have the Chariot peeking out. All right. What are people gossiping about my Labradorite crystal? Yeah, like a lot. So that camp of people who don't know you, and who, or that maybe they're processing the absence of you in a negative light by projecting negative attributes onto you. They see that it's not fair, and all those good qualities that your loved ones, or the people who see you in a positive light, see about you, they're taking them, they're turning them on their heads, and they're like, even the positive qualities that are obvious, they are saying that they're fake. And that it's not fair that you've received what you have, because now you're cold and you're distant, and that your life is just well, they feel like you have a dream life, but they think that it's only based on ambition and that there's no heart to it. So some people are gossiping about how, like, you know, you're lacking soul in what you do. What I'm really feeling from that, though, pile number 3, is how you're on this journey and you're constantly searching for meaning in everything you do. And so that's why you had to exit like these broader social circles, because they were meaningless and lackluster to you. So it's actually the opposite of what people are trying to project onto you. People are projecting that you are superficial, but really you find depth and meaning within yourself and your journey and your process. And so, like, being part of being social with them was feeling, it wasn't jiving with your soul anymore. So you had to move on. And they see this movement and they see that it's panning out for you, but they want to say that it's just based on superficial things, like you being pretty, or, you know, you being like just overly ambitious, in spite of, like, to the detriment of your soul, you know? What is the gossip on pile number 3, Labradorite? People see that you do have new connections in your life that, you know, they aren't part of. But they just want to project onto it that it's like cold and meaningless and just, but the reality with this water over here and like the magic coming from this fairy's center, like the water speaks to me about emotion. There's lots of passion in the red roses and connection, and like it's real connection here that you have in romance and in friendship. You have really devoted friends and people around you who want to help you to, all they want to do is just support you and help you harness and be your best self, because they do see like the beauty within you. And these are people who are just authentically more aligned with who you are and where you're going in your life. So no matter who's talking about you, what camp they're in, they definitely see like the abundance and the progress that you've made. And it's all by your own merit, whether they believe it's superficial or like superficial merit or something deeper. Everybody sees that it is based on your own personal attributes that don't only have to do with beauty, but some people think that you're putting on this passionate, just, kind-hearted persona, and some people know that that's who you really are. All right, let's get some animal oracle messages. All right, what is the gossip? One card at a time, please. What's the gossip about my pile number 3 Labradorite crystal? We got Camel, Celebrate, number 29. So 2 talks to me about harmony, connection, ease. 9 is a symbol of endings, letting go of the old and what's not working any longer. Bottom of the deck, we have Seahorse love, number 23. So a lot of you, the kinds of connections that you had in the past were not serving you any longer. They were holding you back. They were making you feel alone. And some people have erroneous ideas about what love really is, and they think that love is just like blind loyalty no matter what. And whereas I do agree that sometimes you have to stick through things like for the purpose of love. If you are in relationships and settings that are just obviously you don't have any values in common, and you have to go against your values and go against your soul to be around it, it is antithetical to the concept of being loyal, because it's all a farce. Maybe some people are gossiping about what they had with you being false. Like they thought that it was going somewhere and then it just didn't. And maybe it's not anything against you, but they're just mourning that. Or maybe people were onlookers and they saw that you had all of these situations where, you thought it was your time. You thought, this is when you were going to find your people and your path and your blessings, but then it just didn't work out. But they feel like you're finally on your way and you finally found it after many false starts. All right, so let's read the message from the camel. Number 23. Oh, sorry, number 29. All right, camel celebration fire. Celebrate your unique gifts and rejoice in what they continually provide you. Desert-dwelling camels are the hardy and robust survivors of many of the planet's harshest conditions. They've adapted many unique qualities which allow them to thrive in hot, dusty, arid areas of the world, including developing a thick coat that protects them from the heat, superior digestive systems that allow for maximum water retention, a third eyelid and long lashes and ear hair to stop sand from getting in. Their iconic hump that allow them to store fat, thus enabling their bodies to retain water and stay cooler easier, and thick lips allowing them to eat sharp and thorny plant foods that other animals cannot. In Mongolia, they celebrate the camel at an annual festival, which shows us just how important it is to honor who we are, what we're able to endure and thrive on, and to trust that others will acknowledge and celebrate you when you choose to do the same for yourself. Camels are well camouflaged by the colors of the desert and can survive for up to 6 months without food or water. When water is available, camels can drink and rehydrate faster than any other mammal. They represent living a truly nomadic lifestyle, being able to being able to endure the harshest environments and longest treks in the desert in order to experience the world in ways others simply are unable to. A symbol of endurance, the camel can teach us to celebrate our unique circumstances and trust that we're capable of continuing to thrive through life's extreme conditions. Camels are very social and live together in their herd family groups. When greeting each other, they will blow in each other's faces like an affectionate kiss between loved ones. We can see that celebrating the little things like water and freedom can allow for us to be grateful for the things we do have and not to sweat about the things that we don't. So I see for you, pile number 3, you have manifested this life not out of a King of Pentacles mentality, not out of a King of Swords mentality, not even from a Chariot mentality, but this was all inner work that you did, highlighting the positives, being gracious, being humble to source. And you brought this, you constantly, no matter what was happening behind the scenes or what was happening in your daily life, you open yourself up to these blessings and you manifested this lifestyle. And that's what people don't see, but they do see that you have your dream life and they think that you built it in a really mechanical, methodical, and for some of you, like calculated way. But you manifested it through virtue and maintaining your vibration and enduring circumstances that these people wouldn't even consider. And you look good doing it. I wanted to throw that in there, but the purpose of saying that is actually that because you exist with this beautiful energy, which I think I said the same thing for pile number 2, but because like your energy is beautiful, you maintain your beauty and your youth. And I see you've gone through like things and you've gone through many cycles, but you still look so young, so beautiful, so unperturbed by life. And it's because your energy is unaffected. You're resilient. And since you have this strength, but you're still soft, some people interpret that as some hidden agenda. And because people think strength, these people have an erroneous idea that strength can only come from an ego-driven place, but you get your strength from a soul, from your soul. You get your strength from source. You get your strength through enduring the harshest terrain and circumstances and still maintaining your abundant spirit and your love. Not because it's not hard, but because you know that you're not going to be faced with anything that you can't overcome. And you know that through these challenges, you're only going to evolve, because the camel, it evolved these qualities to endure its circumstances. So your soul has evolved these mechanisms to exist in a society and a world that is very harsh. And because you're strong and you can shine and you can thrive in the harshness of this world, people automatically think that means that you're scheming, because they just can't wrap their minds around someone being soft and being strong at the same time. Final messages for my pile number 3s. This is beautiful. What is the gossip on my pile number 3s? Desire. Go window shopping. Gaze at all the items you would love to own. Imagine using them and enjoying them. Regularly repeat this exercise. Will help you to attract the things you long to have. One more. Protect. This came out in reverse. It says, keep all bills and invoices well away from mirrors, windows, and other reflective surfaces. Otherwise, you'll attract more claims on your money. That's what you weren't doing in the past. You weren't protecting. You didn't have those boundaries around yourself in the past, and these people had access to you, and they saw that you were struggling before you went on this fool's journey and branched out on your own. And now that you have these boundaries around yourself and they don't have access to you, they're just projecting all this negative energy about how you're just like so full of desire and all you care about is material things. And because they didn't value you in the past, when you didn't have this material abundance, or the same, you weren't as well connected, or whatever it is that you've gained through your journey, when you weren't yet at this castle, because they didn't value you then, they think that you must have compromised who you are to get there, because that's not who they remember you as. And so that your soul got tainted with desire. Bottom of the deck, give thanks, this gratitude. In your imagination, kiss each of your favorite people in turn and thank them for being in your life. Then do the same with an open heart to each of the people who cause you difficulty. So the best way you can transmute this energy that they're sending to you, just be grateful. Just be grateful. This is the pile that I think had the most like haters, like true, genuine, present haters. And the best way to transmute this energy is just energy. People can, with their intention, direct the energy in negative ways or positive ways. So be grateful for the energy that's coming to you first and foremost. And be grateful for the lessons that they taught you, because these people, if you ever had proximity to them, they were your haters then and they're your haters now. They were your users then. They were the ones that were siphoning off your energy and then not even acknowledging that they were taking your energy. And a lot of them, it's just out of pure ignorance. They don't even realize what they're doing. So keeping these boundaries that you have, I mean, you already know better than I ever could. You've developed these boundaries through your process and through the difficulties. So it's just a reminder, like, not to allow your heart to get bitter. Don't become who they're projecting onto you. Don't become who they're projecting onto you. Because if they didn't make the cut, it's because of their own energy. And continue to polish your discernment by surrounding yourself with the right people, the right energies, the right things. And don't be afraid to kind of allocate some time and energy. Like, for example, if these are like family members and you know they love you in their own way and they just can't not be that way because of their own like traumatic experiences and the fact that they didn't have access to like the knowledge and resources to heal that in their younger years, well, then it's important to allocate some energy for them and to extend love without and gratitude for that they paved the way for you to be where you are right now, that they made those sacrifices, that they lived through those times, and then you descended from them, or you know, they cared for you and brought you up to be who you are. Because just like Cinderella, like the harshness of her evil stepmother and sisters that gave her the good karma because she was able to transmute that with grace and gratitude. And the universe responds to that vibration. So she absorbed their negativity and transmuted it into positivity and like gave it back to the universe through her devotion. And that's how she like earned her fairy godmother, you know? So even if you do have a life of like true like ease and it seems to be from pretty privilege, don't like feed into that narrative that you didn't earn it, because you really, really deserve where you are right now. And just thank like even the haters, even the most harsh and horrible things and people that have, you know, come through your life. Thank them for allowing you the opportunity to accumulate so much good karma that you're reaping the benefits of right now. Yeah. That's all I have for you, pile number 3. It was an honor to read your energy. It's really touching. If you would like a personal reading with me, there's information in the description box down below. A link there for you to move forward with that. Please like, comment below. Let me know how this resonated with you. And subscribe, share this with someone you might think will benefit. And we'll see you on the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile 4. If you chose the Smoky Quartz, this is your reading. We're getting into what is the juicy gossip on you today, pile number 4. This is not to be messy. This is not to dig into negative energies, but this is to take the energy that's being thrown your way and harness it, channel it into you aligning and waking up to your dream life every single day. So let's do this together. Let's get into it. What is the gossip on my pile number 4 Smoky Quartz crystal? What's the gossip on the pile number 4 Smoky Quartz crystals today? What's the gossip on the pile number 4 Smoky Quartz crystals today? What's the gossip on the pile number 4 Smoky Quartz crystals today? 2 of Pentacles, Strength card, and the 4 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, 9 of Wands. Interesting. Okay. The gossip on you, pile number 4, people are saying that you're never satisfied with what you have. I feel like these are people who tried to undergive to you and you move forward past them, or you didn't give them the time of day. And so they see you like working hard all on your own and like really, really like, yeah, these are like people who see you working hard and maybe they don't have the same drive as you, and they think that, and you moved past them, or you just weren't aligned with them because you have more drive and more desire and more passion, and instead of just like seeing that there's like a misalignment there because you have different values, they're just looking at it as, oh, she's never happy, she's ungrateful, and like there's this deficiency within yourself. But it's really a projection. They feel like they're lacking something and they couldn't give you what you needed, or they couldn't meet you where you were, and so yeah, they feel deficient and they're projecting it onto you. They do acknowledge that you're really strong. They acknowledge, for some of you, like you're different. You're just so different to them, like you're foreign to them. And maybe that comes across as like being from a different place than they are from, like being from a different cultural background than them. And so it's like, it is a cultural difference. And they admire that and they think it's beautiful, but they just don't understand deeply like who you are, where you come from, and what gives you that drive. Please. Okay, what is the message for my pile number 4s? What is the gossip on my pile number 4s? What is the gossip on my pile number 4s? Heavenly signs. Bottom of the deck, sentimental feelings. People think that you're very spiritually connected. People are gossiping about how like spiritually connected you are. And people are gossiping about how you're receiving like insight that you need to slow down, you need to relax, and you're ignoring it. You're not paying attention to it. But again, with the sentimental feelings coming out of the bottom of the deck, I think that they're taking some authentic things that they see, and they're like, it's being mixed in with their own personal feelings. So this is not like an authentic channel, especially if people have been telling you this, oh, you're working too hard, you need to like relax, and you know, all you do is work, or you know, you're too hard on yourself or whatever. And you may not even be too hard on yourself, you're just real. And you don't take like nonsense even from yourself, and you just hold yourself accountable, and these people don't have the same kind of like accountability that you have. So maybe it has to do with like an exercise routine, or you're an athlete, or you know, you have some like goals, like some like health goals that you want to reach. This is just one example. And people are like, oh, you never go out anymore, and like maybe, you know, you're facing some challenges, for example, like you pull something and so you can't exercise. People are like, oh yeah, that's a sign that you need to like relax. And yeah, you know, maybe you do carry some harshness with yourself, and you do need to relax, but it's still a projection. For others that aren't haters, they really just care about you. They really just worry about you. They really just want you to take care of yourself. They feel like this harshness that you have with yourself, it makes it hard to connect with you. And they just love you. The sentimental feelings is about like the love that they feel for you. And it's not that they're not in alignment with you. But the thing is, I feel like you're on your own individual journey. Like, she has her animal companions here. Like you're on this spiritual journey, right? And sometimes in life, when we are on a spiritual quest, or we have like something to achieve, like we have to just like sit with ourselves and the divine, and we have to harness as much divine power as we can to kind of see this thing through. And so I see that that's the kind of journey that you're on right now, and it takes you digging deep and sacrificing, you know, certain things. And people from the outside looking in won't always see the value in that, but that's the thing about life. We all have different things that we value, and it's your own journey. It's your own choice of what you want to pursue and what you want to lean into. So some people are just sitting with the fact that like they're not part of that, like a part of your path right now, and it makes them sad, and that's valid, you know, because they love you. And so for those of you hitting walls, maybe there's a part of you that's missing that connection as well. But it doesn't mean that you need to quit your journey. It just means you need to acknowledge that. And maybe you do need to allocate some time for stepping away from your work for enough time to just be. And I think that that will give you a lot more energy to sustain you along your path, versus constantly trying to expand your capacity for hard things. There is a time when, okay, it's time to, you know, now we've gone too far into the hard things and you need recovery. Just like, you know, if you're exercising a lot, like you do need to make time for recovery. And that's spiritually as well. What is the gossip on my pile number 4 smoky quartz crystals? What's the gossip on pile number 4 smoky quartz crystals? What's the gossip on my pile number 4 smoky quartz crystals? Yeah, here's that dissatisfaction energy. Chariot. Chariot came out in a lot of these readings today. Y'all are on the move. But I see here the gossip on you is that you, give me 1 second, I'm going to turn off the AC in the background. I keep turning it off and then my partner turns it back on. Okay. So I do see that in the past you, with this 2 of Pentacles, you have hit a wall, and it might be like a pattern that people see, and you're keeping this goal and this vision alive. And it's not about reaching one particular tangible measurable goal, because if you see here, she has like an infinity symbol on her head. Anything that you pursue, even the material world, it's something deeper to you. And people are gossiping about how, oh, you know, she's so unfulfilled and she's never happy and she just keeps going, and like, when will it ever be enough? Because from what they see, you have it all. But for you, you don't have it all until you have it all, and you'll never have it all. And you understand the infinite nature of life, and you're more afraid of becoming stagnant than failure. You could care less about failure. It's about being stagnant. You always want to be pursuing something because that's what makes you happy. So people think like, oh, like this drive that she has, she can let it go now because she's reached this, you know, place of success. So yeah, that's the main thing I see. Like, when will it ever be enough for her? But for you, I see it's like it's a spiritual journey. But just because they don't understand you, it doesn't mean that there's no value in like what they're saying, especially the people who just care about you. Some people are going to take that and make it a negative thing, but the people who care about you, they have some point. Like, the point is that, you know, we can get so caught up practicing the same old things because it took us a while to master them, or maybe even because those are the things that naturally come to us. And so we get a thrill from practicing those things, but the real mark of a champion is someone who can create new skills to reach new levels and practice different things. So you've transcended one thing in what you've been working on, and it's time to learn new skills by moving on to a different skill set and goal. So I see, especially in the material world, in the material realm, you've kind of reached a goal that you had before, and you're pursuing that goal from your soul. You're pursuing that goal from an authentic place. But now there's something new that the signs have been trying to ask you to pursue. With the Chariot here, it could have to do with relationships and family, not necessarily in the traditional sense. You can have your own unconventional version of what family looks like to you. But I think, you know, there may be guidance to kind of And you may have sentimental feelings around family and connection that are coming up for you, and it's like your feelings are giving you signs. It's not something that you need to fight with. And it's okay to it's okay to take into account what other people have to say, because in the past that may not have been serving you, because you were doing something different than what the people around you had ever done before. But maybe this new chapter that you're in and this new thing that you need to pursue, maybe people like, for example, your mom does have advice that you don't have insight into, that you overlooked, that you didn't see. Like maybe there's more wisdom in there than what you realized when it comes to where your life is headed now and the things that you need to experience in your next chapter. Okay, so for this pile, this is the only pile where I want to get a few more tarot cards of advice, because I feel like it's with the heavenly signs and sentimental feelings here, I think that there's more that needs to be revealed to you, and it's not really so much about what people are saying, but it's about your journey. What does pile number 4 needs to know for their highest good with ease and grace? What does pile number 4 need to know for their highest good with ease and grace? What does pile number 4 need to know for their highest good with ease and grace? What does pile 4 need to know for their highest good with ease and grace? Yeah, you're moving on, you're growing, you're maturing. And you feel like you need to hold on to something and do things the way that you've been doing them, because that's what got you to this state of success. But every time you try to show up the way that you've always shown up and the way that's always worked for you, something's just off. And it's creating hardship instead of success, where it once created success in the past. And what is the message for pile number 4, Smoky Quartz, highest good with ease and grace? What's the highest divine truth, wisdom, clarity, and insight for pile number 4? What's the highest divine truth, wisdom, clarity, and insight for pile number 4 with ease and grace? Yeah, it's time to lean into connection. It's time to not have to be strong, not have to be independent, but to be able to rely on people. It's time to lean into a more fantastical way of being, a more easy way of being, a softer way of being. You don't have to be so strong anymore. And it's about learning how to balance your inner world with your outer world and with your relationships. Because for some of you, you only have the skill of being strong, and you're stronger than some people could ever even imagine being on their own. But the real challenge is learning how to maintain your strength while still finding harmony in your connections with others. And I feel like there is this desire. You want to experience relationships, but you make it seem like you don't, because it's not in your comfort zone. It's not in your skill set. It's not what you've learned is safe. You may have learned that it's unsafe. So for some of you, this may show up as you're doing well in your career, and your mom's always like, when are you going to get married? And you're like, I don't care about that, blah, 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 blah. But it's actually you really do care about that. You really dream about that. It's just not working for you. And so that really hurts. that when people are asking you about it, because it's like you're trying or you want that, but it's just not working. And maybe it's a message that, you know, taking on some traditional practices or wisdom around relating could bring you more success. So it's about having to like be a little more vulnerable in order to like develop the skill set. So if you think of it in the way that you're comfortable with, like everything's a skill, and it's just a skill that needs to be learned. But it comes from a place of vulnerability and a place of leaning into what you're maybe not really good or experienced in. Okay. Let's get an animal oracle message here about the gossip. Let's bring it back to the gossip. What's the gossip on my pile number 4s? What do they need to know for their highest good? What's the gossip for my pile number 4 smoky quartz crystal? What's the gossip on my pile number 4 smoky quartz crystal? One card at a time. Inspiration and magic. What's the gossip for my option number 4 smoky quartz crystal? What's the gossip on my pile number 4 smoky quartz crystals? What's the gossip on my pile number 4 smoky quartz crystals? All right. Wagtail Essence came out in reverse. I'm going to put that right side up. Number 64. Bottom of the deck, Kookaburra Amusement. So I do feel like, you know, if things aren't, maybe it's hard to be vulnerable, because since you do have some success in something that you've achieved, sometimes people want to highlight the areas where you struggle, but we're all only human. And so you want to protect yourself from like being like, because you've been an object of like positive focus and you're so used to that, you want to lean into that because that feels safe. And you don't want to be vulnerable to be some like a spectacle of not being successful in something. So you don't even pursue it, even though it's something that you desire. And it's just, and it's not about your ego and like not wanting to fail, not wanting to be bad at something. It's more so about like not wanting to open yourself up to be like the object of negative attention, because it hurts. All right, let's read this message here. Because you know that you have like snakes around you sometimes. You can see like the envy in people's eyes sometimes, and it's because you're doing well. And if you fail at something publicly, then that's gonna make you look like that's gonna mean that the evil eye they already sent to you, like it empowers it in some way. It empowers the haters, and you don't want to give them ammunition. So it says, Wagtail Essence, get back to your roots and lighten up. The small wagtail is a ground-feeding bird that is part of the fantail family. They have a joyful spirit that reminds us to be playful, spirited, and childlike. When life feels heavy, and as if we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, we can look to a wagtail to see that life doesn't have to be so serious all the time. That in fact, in order to make a greater and more positive impact on the planet, we must look at continually maintaining our own positivity. The wagtail offers us the gift of reconnecting with our own essence, our purpose, our soul, and our connection to all that is divine. As he sits on the grass, foraging for insects, swaying and fanning his big tail feathers in the air, we're reminded of the importance of staying grounded and remembering the childhood memories we collect. Having fun, playing, dancing, and singing. Returning to these ancient practices for pure happiness, we're able to see what it was that always drove us to do such big work in this world. The innocence, the essence, and the beauty in life that we wish to continue to preserve for generations to come. Yeah, so taking it back to the beginning of the reading, people are gossiping about how you don't allow yourself indulgences in life. And I think that there's a fear of being vulnerable there. There's a fear of failure beneath that. And I think that most of this gossip comes from a place of love. And the fact that you're afraid to indulge or be perceived as a failure, it just speaks to how hard you've worked at like being where you are now. And this is a reading that's channeling a lot of love into your journey to kind of coax you and encourage you to know that there's nothing but love waiting on the other side as you learn how to let down your defenses and not always have to be so strong and let other people in and allow yourself to have fun. I think there's a lot of pain in your ancestral lineage around the concept of work, success, play. Your ancestors may have worked hard because they had to, and you have the option to be at ease. That poverty consciousness and mentality, you broke the cycle. And now you're going to break the cycle of having to work so hard. And you're going to bring your lineage into a space of abundance and a space of joy. I'm going to get some final messages for you. Pile number 4. What is the message? Final message for the gossip on my pile number 4s. Heal. If you want to cure an ailment or disease, avoid thinking and talking about it. Keep saying, I'm in perfect health now. Thank you for my perfect body. Know that you're being healed right now. Bottom of the deck, abundance. I can't make this up. And self-care. Repeat this affirmation lovingly and calmly as often as you wish. I have everything that I desire. My life overflows with abundance, and I'm open to receiving the gifts of the universe now. Truly believe what you are saying. And I'm going to read this one too. Self-care. Each day, stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself in the eye. Smile at yourself. Say slowly and with complete conviction, I am greatly loved. And I love greatly. It's time to open yourself up to love. It's time to open yourself up to abundance. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. Abundance is a state of mind and a state of energy. And when you do this work on yourself to enter a state of abundance, to enter a state of ease, indulgence, joy, love, by claiming it, I forgot what I was saying. Sorry. But when you do this work, you're not only healing yourself, you're healing those that came before you, and you're healing those that will come after you. And for many of you, it's going to open up a path of marriage, a path of, having a family of your own. birthing something. Maybe it's a creative project of your own, because maybe the attainment that you've achieved thus far, it was spiritual work that you were doing. It was hard work that you were doing. And now it's time to transcend that. And it's time to birth something creatively and divinely. And you've gotten to this place in your journey. And it's time to level up and do it differently. And it's not going to be easy. But what's hard for you is embracing ease. And that's the fun part. And that's the ironic part. And I'm so sorry for reading you. I know that like you wanted to see what the gossip was, but this is so intertwined and such a powerful message and healing coming through to you today. Thank you for being with me to this point. It was an honor to read your cards. If you'd like a personal reading, you can see in the link below how to do that. Like this and comment below to let me know how it resonated. Share this with someone who think it might help. And I'm excited, looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye.